Friedrich Nietzsche was a German philosopher born in 1844, known for his powerful ideas about life, morality, and what it means to be human. His works challenged conventional beliefs and encouraged individuals to seek their own paths. One of Nietzsche's most famous concepts is the idea of embracing challenges and pain as essential to personal growth. He believed that suffering is not only unavoidable but also a vital part of life that can lead to strength and transformation. Nietzsche famously said, "What does not kill you makes you stronger." This phrase reflects his belief that hardships can shape us into better versions of ourselves. Rather than avoiding or fearing pain, Nietzsche urged people to face it head-on. He viewed adversity as a teacher, a way to build resilience and inner strength. Through his works, such as Thus Spoke Zarathustra and The Gay Science, he emphasized the importance of creating meaning in our lives, even amid suffering. Many find his philosophy challenging but liberating. Instead of viewing pain as something negative, Nietzsche encourages us to change our perspectives and accept it as part of our journey. This notion intrigued me, especially during my own tough times. I began to wonder if there was a way to not just endure pain but to actually embrace it, seeing it as a chance for personal growth. Little did I know that exploring Nietzsche's thoughts would change how I encountered my struggles moving forward. During a particularly difficult time in my life, I felt overwhelmed by feelings of sadness and confusion. It was a phase where everything seemed to go wrong, my friendships felt strained, school pressure mounted, and I struggled to find my place in the world. The weight of expectation and self-doubt pressed heavily on my shoulders, making even the simplest tasks feel insurmountable. I remember sitting alone in my room, staring at the wall, feeling like I was drowning in a sea of despair. It was during these moments that pain became a constant companion. I wanted to escape it, to hide from it, but no matter how hard I tried, it followed me everywhere. Friends would tell me to stay positive, but their words felt empty. I needed something more profound to grasp onto, a way to transform this unbearable burden into something meaningful. As I searched for answers, I stumbled upon Nietzsche's writings. His ideas about suffering resonated deeply with me during this low point. Instead of seeing my pain as an enemy, Nietzsche's philosophy suggested that it could be a powerful teacher. This perspective sparked a change within me. I began to wonder if facing my challenges head-on could lead to growth rather than just suffering. Embracing this thought marked the start of a new journey, one where I would learn to love my pain instead of running from it. As I began to explore new ways to cope with my struggles, I found myself drawn to books in the small library at school. One day, while browsing the philosophy section, a thin volume caught my eye, Thus Spoke Zarathustra by Friedrich Nietzsche. The title intrigued me, and I decided to give it a chance. Little did I know that this book would change my perspective on pain and suffering forever. As I read, Nietzsche's bold ideas leaped off the pages. He spoke about creating one's own values and embracing life's challenges as opportunities for growth. His words felt like a lifeline in my sea of despair. Each passage encouraged me to look at my pain differently. Instead of viewing it as something to avoid, he portrayed suffering as a necessary experience that could lead to strength and self-discovery. I was particularly struck by his notion of the Übermensch, or overman, who rises above adversity and uses it to become greater than themselves. This idea resonated with me deeply, giving me a sense of hope that I could transform my struggles into something meaningful. The more I read, the more I wanted to understand how Nietzsche's philosophy could help me navigate my own challenges. It was as if a door had opened, inviting me to step into a new way of thinking, one where pain could be embraced rather than feared. As I delved deeper into Nietzsche's writings, one concept that particularly struck me was of amor fati, which translates to love of fate. This idea encourages us to accept and love everything that happens in our lives, the good, the bad, and especially the painful moments. Rather than resisting or resenting what we cannot change, Nietzsche urged us to embrace our fate as an integral part of our journey. Initially, this idea was hard for me to grasp. I had always viewed pain as something negative to be avoided at all costs. But as I reflected on my experiences, I began to see how my struggles had shaped me in ways I had never recognized before. The more I accepted my fate, the more control I felt over my perspective. Instead of asking why me during difficult times, I started to ask, what can I learn from this? Amor Fati taught me that every obstacle could become a stepping stone toward growth. If I could embrace my pain and understand it as a necessary part of my story, I could find strength in adversity. This shift in mindset helped transform the way I approached life. Instead of fearing what lay ahead, I started to welcome challenges with open arms, believing that every experience was essential for my development. Embracing my fate became a powerful lesson in resilience and authenticity, guiding me to a deeper appreciation of life itself. As I continued to embrace Nietzsche's teachings, I began to see my pain not just as a burden but as a powerful source of strength. This transformation was gradual. There were still moments when doubt and sadness would creep back in. However, instead of letting those feelings overwhelm me, I used them as fuel for growth. For instance, during particularly tough days at school, when I felt overwhelmed by pressure or disappointment, I would pause and reflect on what Nietzsche had taught me. I started to journal about my feelings, writing down how each struggle affected me and what lessons could be gleaned from them. This practice helped me identify patterns in my suffering and recognize the resilience building within me. Each challenge became a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. One memorable experience was when I faced rejection from a club I desperately wanted to join. Initially, it stung deeply, but recalling Nietzsche's idea that suffering can lead to growth propelled me to analyze the situation instead of wallowing in self-pity. I took the feedback to heart and sought ways to improve myself, ultimately finding strength in the rejection itself. This newfound perspective allowed me to approach life's difficulties with curiosity rather than fear. Instead of asking why these challenges happened to me, I began to ask how they could help shape me into a stronger person. Embracing my pain as a source of strength not only transformed my mindset but also equipped me with resilience that continues to guide me today. To truly integrate Nietzsche's philosophy into my daily life, I realized I needed to take practical steps beyond just reading his works. One of the first things I did was start journaling. Each evening, I would reflect on my day and write down the challenges I faced. This practice helped me clarify my feelings and recognize patterns in my struggles. Over time, I learned to frame these difficulties as part of my growth journey instead of seeing them as obstacles. Additionally, I made a habit of reframing negative thoughts. Whenever I caught myself feeling overwhelmed or defeated, I'd pause and ask whether there was a lesson to be learned from the situation. For instance, when facing setbacks, instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough," I started to tell myself, "What can this teach me?" This simple shift in wording sparked a new way of thinking that allowed me to find meaning even in tough circumstances. I also began seeking feedback from others, whether it was about my schoolwork or personal projects. While receiving constructive criticism can be daunting, I reminded myself that each piece of advice was another chance for improvement and resilience. Lastly, I practiced gratitude by acknowledging both the good and challenging moments in my life. Writing down 3 things I was grateful for at the end of each day helped me cultivate a positive mindset focused on growth rather than fear. These small but impactful actions slowly transformed my approach to life, allowing me to live more fully in line with Nietzsche's teachings on pain and strength. Reflecting on my journey, I've come to understand that suffering plays a crucial role in personal development. Nietzsche emphasized this idea, suggesting that pain can act as a catalyst for transformation. He believed that through grappling with our struggles, we can uncover deeper layers of strength and wisdom within ourselves. This philosophy resonated deeply with me as I navigated my own challenges. One significant example was when I faced the loss of a close friend. The grief was overwhelming, and at first, it felt like an insurmountable weight. However, as I sat with my feelings and allowed myself to truly experience the pain, I began to learn valuable lessons about love, connection, and the importance of cherishing relationships. Instead of pushing the grief away, I embraced it as a part of my growth process. This painful experience ultimately taught me to be more present and appreciative of the people in my life. Another instance was during a difficult academic period when I struggled to keep up with assignments. Instead of succumbing to frustration, I applied Nietzsche's idea that suffering can lead to growth. I sought help from teachers and peers, which not only improved my understanding of the material but also fostered a sense of community and support. This taught me that asking for help is not a sign of weakness but rather a strength that can guide us through tough times. Through these experiences, I've learned that suffering is not just something to endure, it can also be a profound teacher, guiding us toward growth and greater self-awareness. Embracing this perspective has enriched my life in ways I never expected. As I continued to embrace the teachings of Nietzsche, my outlook on challenges began to shift dramatically. Where I once saw obstacles as insurmountable walls, I now viewed them as stepping stones on the path to self-improvement. This change in perspective transformed my approach to life, making me more optimistic and resilient in the face of adversity. For instance, when I encountered setbacks in school or social situations, instead of feeling defeated, I asked myself what I could learn from the experience. This newfound curiosity helped to diffuse my anxiety and turn moments of doubt into opportunities for growth. It became easier to believe that each challenge was a chance to build my character and refine my skills. I also started celebrating small victories along the way. Whether it was completing an assignment that had initially felt overwhelming or having a meaningful conversation with a friend, acknowledging these moments reinforced my belief in my ability to overcome difficulties. This practice helped cultivate a sense of gratitude and positivity that fueled my motivation. Moreover, I found joy in sharing this journey with others. By encouraging friends who faced their own struggles, I discovered that supporting each other not only strengthened our bonds but also deepened my understanding of resilience. As I continued to change my perspective on challenges, I became more focused on self-improvement and optimistic about the future, recognizing that pain and struggle are vital parts of a richer, fuller life. As I reflected on my own journey of embracing pain and challenges, I realized that Nietzsche's lessons can also be powerful tools for helping others who are struggling. When friends or family confide in me about their difficulties, I can draw on my experiences to offer support and insight. Instead of rushing to provide solutions or simply telling them to stay positive, I learned the value of listening and validating their feelings. One approach I found helpful is to encourage those around me to reframe their thoughts about their struggles. I might ask questions like, "What can this challenge teach you?" or "How can this experience help you grow?" By guiding them to see the potential for growth within their pain, I can help shift their perspective in a way that mirrors my own transformation. Another effective method has been to share my own experiences with suffering. When I recount how embracing my challenges led to personal development, it often inspires others to think differently about their situations. They see that pain isn't the end, it can be a stepping stone toward becoming a stronger person. Additionally, I've become more proactive in maintaining connections with those who are struggling. Just being present for a friend when they're going through tough times can make them feel less alone. Whether it's through simple conversations or spending time together, offering support allows me to practice Nietzsche's teachings while giving others the reassurance that they too can navigate their struggles positively. By applying these lessons, I find fulfillment in contributing to their journeys of growth and resilience. In conclusion, my journey of learning to embrace pain through Nietzsche's teachings has been nothing short of transformative. Initially, I viewed suffering as a heavy burden, but over time, I have come to recognize its vital role in personal growth and self-discovery. Nietzsche's philosophy has taught me that pain is not merely something to endure, it can serve as an essential catalyst for strength and resilience. By adopting concepts like amor fati and seeing challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles, I've cultivated a mindset that welcomes adversity. Each struggle has become a chance to learn and evolve, reinforcing the idea that true strength often emerges from the depths of our pain. Through this process, I gained valuable insights not only about myself but also about the importance of supporting others on their journeys. As I continue to apply Nietzsche's lessons in my life, I'm inspired to share this wisdom with friends and family, helping them navigate their own challenges. Together, we can redefine our perceptions of suffering and turn it into a shared experience of growth. Embracing our struggles fosters a deeper connection with ourselves and others while reminding us that we are capable of overcoming difficulties. Ultimately, the path of resilience is paved with both joy and pain. By learning to love our pain, we open ourselves to a richer, more meaningful existence, where each challenge becomes a stepping stone toward a stronger and more authentic self. This journey is ongoing, and I look forward to embracing whatever comes next with an open heart and mind.